Well, I'm on a little exploratory mission right now. I gotta find some new bottle dumps because the ones I've been digging are pretty much tapped out, and none of them were that old to begin with. I'm kind of going in here just on a hunch. You can see there's a nice little brook behind me. You probably can't hear that over the sound of the brook, but there's a grouse drumming right over there, rough grouse. But anyway, so I've got a little hunch. There might not be anything in here, and if there's not, you're not going to see this. So if you're watching, we found something. But there's an old inn up over the hill here, and a meadow that runs quite a ways that way. And you can see there's some old apple trees right in below me here. And that inn's been there for a very long time. And I would think the most logical place for there to be a dump would be along this bank behind me below the meadow. And you can see there's, I don't know if you can see, stone wall right along there. I mean, these are some nice old apple trees in here. We're in a little bit of an orchard. Old telephone wire there. Keep my eye open for insulators too. But so I think if there's a dump anywhere in association with this, it would be in here somewhere. So let's take a look. Ooh, here's a nice little treat, different kind of treasure. These are wild ramps. Oh, they smell so good. They smell like garlic or onions. It's in the allium family. They're really delicious. They're only out in the spring. And yeah, they kind of taste like a cross between leeks and garlic. And you can eat the leaves. They're great to cook with. They do have a bulb, but it takes them a long time to grow and spread. So only dig the bulbs if you have a really big patch, like a few acres, not like a little patch like that. Yeah, look at this old stone wall here. And there's old fencing here. So this was probably old sheep pasture up in here at some point, like everything around here was. And right over here is a big roll of fencing wire. Not necessarily indicative of any kind of dump, but hey, it's something. It's a lovely little meadow up there. Big apple tree up there. You can see the mountain up there. But right there, I see an old metal barrel, old steel drum of some sort. Oh yeah, here's another one. And here's the old fence right here. So this was the actual bottom edge of the pasture at one point. That's part of a car, I think. Big old steel drum. Anything inside of it? Nope. I've actually hopped up into the bottom edge of the meadow because I could equally imagine an old dump maybe just being in a depression right up on this side here too. I mean, this is all grown up since the dump would have been thrown in if there is one, but could be something on this side. But I could also see a hole or old cellar hole or something being filled in up here. Oh, there's some metal of some sort. Some old sheet metal. Roofing. There's got to be a dump around here somewhere. Another nice apple tree. Another apple tree right there. Yeah, there's got to be a dump here somewhere. That is a gorgeous big old apple tree. Beautiful tree right there. That's a big old stone wall right there. I might just walk this wall for a little bit. Climb right up on top. Yeah, I'm gonna walk this wall. I'm actually a little bit further in the woods. Whoops, don't fall. A little bit further in the woods from the edge of the meadow. But I'm gonna walk down and then I'll cut back up and come back on the edge again. Well, there was no dump along the bottom edge of this meadow, which I found a little surprising. Seems like a good area. There was some old sheet metal, some old steel drums and stuff, but no glass, no cans, no dump. Well, there's a bottle dump I know about like 100 yards down the road. So let's go check that out. It's a 1800 cellar hole, but it's been backfilled. And I've dug it a couple years ago, and if I remember correctly, it was mostly like 50s, 60s, 70s trash, but I never got to the bottom, so there could be stuff deeper in the cellar hole that I never saw. But part of me thinks there's got to be an original dump for that cellar hole somewhere in that area as well. So just gonna pull forward a little bit with the car, park again, and check that out. Well, here is the old cellar hole right here. And as you can see, it's been used as a dump. Yeah, there's all sorts of kind of mid-century stuff poured into here, but the cellar hole itself is 1800s. So you gotta think that, yeah, I like this. All fairly modern. You gotta think there's gotta be a trash heap, and it's probably completely buried at this point. There's gotta be a trash heap for this old homestead somewhere back in the woods behind it. That cellar hole is kind of on a slight high spot. It's kind of a long oblong shaped contour. So I'm just walking the slight drop off the contour that wraps all the way around like this. And it's just kind of a low swampy area on all sides of it. To me, it seems like a terrible spot to build your home. No farmable land around it at all. It's just almost standing water down in there. It's just all willows and alders and stuff. I mean, you can do a lot to push back the forest, but there's not a lot you can do to make the ground dry. At least up here in the mountains. So I think if there was any sort of old 1800s dump in association with that cellar hole, it would be kind of dumped off the edge here somewhere. So I'm just going to walk the whole perimeter and see what I can find. Cellar hole is right up there. Made a loop around, come back this way. I mean, you can see how wet it is. It just drops off into the swamp on all sides. But there's some interesting stonework right here. Got a whole line of stones right down here, terminating right here, and then a parallel line of stonework coming along through here. I don't know if this was maybe an outbuilding. You know, maybe there were a few sheep kept in this or something. Oh, here's some metal. What's this? A little bit of pipe. Promising. But yeah, you can see very clearly that line of stones there. They're all covered in vegetation. This one's a bit more visible right there. But there doesn't seem to be a wall on this side anywhere. So I'm not entirely sure what this was. Here's some stuff. This has probably been pulled out of the ground previously. Yeah, that's cool. Nice old stoneware jug. That'd be great to find intact. Is there anything on the bottom? No. Oh, that's uranium glass right there. That's going to glow bright green under a UV light. So that's, I mean, that's early mid-19th century. So that's newer than the cellar hole, but Probably should have my glove on for this. A couple little finds there. That's nice. That would have been great intact. Oh, here's another piece of it right here. Yeah, look at that. That's a good sign. How much of it is here? Not enough to reconstruct it, unfortunately. That was fancy. Cut glass. There's some cans right here. Oh, I can feel stuff under my feet. Yeah, look here. More broken jars. Oh, that one's intact. Premier. 1900s. Yeah, sounds like there's something under my feet. I'll check that in a sec. There's a can there. A few old cans in here. Yeah, there's a can there. Thought I just heard glass. There's a can. Yeah, there's a bit of a dump buried in here, it seems like. Alright, that's a promising start. There's another Premier jar. Blank jar right there that I just pulled out. Both came out from right there. Oh. Another little jar. Nothing that old though. There's a little bit of aqua right there. Looks a little bit older. Pretty limited little dump site right here. What's that say? That was a shampoo bottle. It's got that kind of poison glass ribbing on it. That would have been a great one intact. I would have been happy with that. Maybe there's something in here worth a bullet casing. Maybe there's something in here worth digging. There's a little intact bottle right there. 3IV. No, 3II. Alright, I mean that's something I can carry out easily enough. It goes right in my pocket. That's probably the top from that aqua piece I found a minute ago. Still 1900s. But there's stuff in here. A little stoneware shard. I'd be happy with a little crock. That'd be good. Here's something a little bit bigger. Whiskey. Another one of those plain Jane mid-century whiskeys. Oh, a little creamer jar. That's good. I'll take that. Does it have anything on it? I think it does. I think there's some embossing. Mass O Seal half pint. That's cool. I like a little milk jar, a little creamer. Yep, liquid on the back. All right, I'll take that. Well, it wasn't much of a dump. It was really just this one tiny little spot right here. And it wasn't anything that old, but it was fun to dig. That would have been nice intact. One plain whiskey out of it. A little 3II, easy to carry out. And I guess the best find is probably this little creamer. Little embossed creamer, so I'm happy with that. I'll take those out with me. And there were a few other intact jars in there. A lot of broken stuff. But we didn't get skunked. We went out looking for a new dump, and although it was tiny, we found one. I may have spoke too soon about it being a small dump and started digging too early. You can see I was right over there. And look here, there's a bottle there. There's a couple cans there. There's an old tin there. There's more glass and cans popping out right here. I don't have much daylight left. It's getting dark. There's stuff over here too. Oh yeah, look at this. More stuff. Bunch of metal coming out of the ground here. Oh yeah, look at it all. There's a jar there. This is probably all same date as that stuff that's filling the cellar hole. Another big metal thing right there. But it's probably still worth coming back in and taking a close look at it. It's probably a little too late in the day now, but I'm just going to look at the surface real quick and see what's here. All right. That's a kind of cool little bottle, actually. Completely slick, nothing on it, but I don't know, that'd look good on a shelf. Car's right there. Might as well bring it out with me. Ooh, that's got some color. Oh my god, it's a Moxie. No way. That's awesome. That's my first Moxie. We don't really get them that much over here in Vermont. I know in New Hampshire and Maine, that's Moxie country for sure, but oh my god, that's awesome. Oh man, that's so cool. I guess that's my find of the day. Big old green Moxie. That was right on the surface too. Yeah, what's this? That's not another Moxie, is it? I don't know, it's broken, but another big aqua piece of glass. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back with some more daylight and dig. I can feel glass under my feet here. Look at that. Oh, that's purple as heck. That's not showing up on the camera nearly as purple as it does to the eye. That's good. Oh, that's exciting. I gotta get back in here with some better daylight. I've probably only got half an hour of daylight left. Old ketchup bottle there. What's this? Oh my god, I'm very excited. That Moxie has me stoked, and that purple glass is really exciting too. Beer bottle. Broken beer bottle there. Oh yeah, who knows what is under the leaves here. There's going to be stuff buried in the soil for sure right in here. More glass there. Awesome. Okay. I'm just going to call it quits. I'm going to save this for another trip. Nice Moxie bottle. All right. Good day. Real good day.